She'll start doing that. And welcome to episode 6 of the Rescue Rundown. I'm Dave Morris, joined today by the CEO of the Central Oklahoma Humane Society, Susanna Della Maddalena. Close?
You got it. Perfect.
Sue, it's very nice to meet you, and thank you for dropping by, and thanks for loaning us Abby Wolf for the first 5 episodes of this. She is fantastic, and we love having you guys in every week.
Thank you. We love coming.
Who do we have here?
This is Heidi. She's an 8-week-old Australian Shepherd mix. She's very sweet and very playful.
And adorable as can be.
And adorable as can be, and she's a little bit of a talker, so you might hear her talking here on camera.
Yeah, we'll throw a mic her way as well. Now, Sue, how long have you been with the Central Oklahoma Humane Society?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, and previous to that?
I ran PetSmart's Foundation in Phoenix for 10 years.
10 years. Now
Yeah.
tell me about that job. What did that entail?
We raised money all over the country through the PetSmart stores primarily to grant out funds to animal welfare organizations around the country.
So then what brought you to Oklahoma City?
I'd always wanted to run a shelter, and I'd been to Oklahoma City several times and fell in love with it. So when this opportunity became available, I jumped on it.
Now from Phoenix, the perspective looking at Oklahoma City and the animal shelter, what was unique about what we have going here and the changes that you saw?
Sure. One of the really astonishing things about Oklahoma City is we have a really disproportionate number of dogs and cats entering our city shelter. Last year, the city shelter took in 24,000 dogs and cats. And just to give you a reference point, New York City last year took in 30,000 for a population of 8.4 million, and we have 610,000 people here in Oklahoma City.
8.4 million, 30,000 animals, that's less than a million, and 24,000 animals.
Yeah.
What's behind those numbers?
Well, we have a lot of work to do, I think, in terms of educating the community on responsible pet ownership, making affordable spay-neuter services available so that we can reduce the number of unwanted puppies and kittens that are entering the shelter. And you know, we need to encourage people to consider adoption versus purchasing a pet.
Very good. That's one of the things we're going to talk about today is how Oklahoma is unique in animal welfare, and it's kind of the good and the bad. We'll start with the culture and Oklahoma perhaps behind and how we treat animals, but improving in the number of animals that are euthanized in the shelter.
We are. We've been working with the city shelter since 2007. What's one of the unique things about Oklahoma City is that we have a formal partnership with our city shelter, and we take the majority of our dogs and cats from them because our goal is to be able to reduce the euthanasia of dogs and cats at the city shelter and find good homes for these guys.
So Heidi's an example.
She's a perfect example. We get little dogs like Heidi in every day.
She probably doesn't last there very long, right?
Not long. They're usually gone pretty quickly because they're pretty darn cute.
Now, what were the numbers last year of the 24,000? You guys absorbed a number of those, and then
yeah. Last year we found homes for about 3,700 dogs and cats, and we also, through our spay and neuter clinic, did about 11,500 surgeries for the public, low-cost, affordable spay and neuter.
Which is another service that the shelter, Humane Society provides.
It is.
Let's talk more about the partnership that the shelter has with the Humane Society, because you mentioned that was unique, and not a lot of cities have that, but other cities have looked at this as perhaps a roadmap.
Yeah, we are definitely on the cutting edge in terms of working as closely as we work.
Why is that? It seems like both sides love animals, but not always that way, right?
No, unfortunately, you know, depending on the community and the philosophy of the organizations, it's not always a happy partnership. And you know, it's really important to take a look at the community overall. And if we're going to be as impactful as we can be, we have to go to the source of where all the dogs and cats are coming from, which is our city shelter. So we have actually, over the last 7 years working together, 8 years actually, we've been able to really have great results. When we started, about 25% of the dogs and cats that entered the shelter, only about 25% of them left alive. And as of today, that's up to 67%. So we're doing a much better job of saving the dogs and cats that are coming into the shelter.
7, 8 years ago, 1 in 4 dogs or cats made it out.
Exactly.
And now 67, 70%. Wow, that is amazing. So you've seen the results since you guys started the work.
Yeah, I mean, that is the power of partnership, and we're very much about collaboration and working with the city shelter as well as other rescue organizations in the community so that we can maximize the number of dogs and cats we can save.
So if another city, let's say Phoenix, called you and said, hey, Sue, how are you making this happen? What are some of the things that you tell them, the low-hanging fruits? Hey, here's some quick wins for you.
Yeah, well, the spay-neuter piece of it is really important to reduce the number of pets that are coming into the shelter. But really, the partnership, I think, is the really unique thing. We are very, very close with our partners at the city shelter. We meet regularly. We have a strategic plan that involves, the two organizations, and we as an organization are constantly looking at how we can help save more pets. And so partnerships are not easy. They're like a marriage. You have to work on them. But that's, I think, what really is making it work here in Oklahoma City.
Very good. We always have a social media aspect to the Rescue Rundown. Hashtag Rescue Rundown, and it's Adopt a Shelter Dog Month. So be sure to include your social media post, hashtag Rescue Rundown, with your shelter dog. You guys have some Wolfness and Street Fest activities coming up. Tell us about those.
We do. October is our month of Wolfness. Our theme this year is happy endings, happily ever after. Sure. And so we've got kind of a fairy tale theme to everything we're doing. And we've got a series of events and promotions in our adoption center to encourage people to come in and look at our dogs and cats and adopt them. And then we are culminating the month with a street festival the Sunday before Halloween. We'll start at 4 in the afternoon, and we'll have food trucks there and booths, and people are invited to come dressed up with their pets and families to help us celebrate our month of Wolfness.
Now, will this be at the Humane Society on Western?
Yeah, 7500 Northwestern Avenue.
The Sunday before Halloween, one last week before the time changes. And so you mean to tell me every Friday people are dressed up this month? Have you implemented that?
Yeah.
Fairy tale costumes, they're allowed,
We have to tell our people not to be too scary because it scares the animals. So if you come in wearing something really, really scary.
Once again, this is Heidi, a 2-month-old Australian cattle dog mixed puppy. You mentioned beforehand you actually see a lot of this type of breed.
We do. We see a lot of herding type mixes here in Oklahoma.
Why is that?
Because we're such an agricultural state that they're really, really popular. So yeah, Australian Shepherd mixes, Great Pyrenees mixes, all sorts of different hounds. We see a lot of them.
Well, you can find this one, 7500 Northwestern at the Central Oklahoma Humane Society. It's Heidi. Be sure to ask for her.
Yay.
Just adorable.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
Yeah, Heidi, what do you think? She's being very calm.
Come get me. Sue, very nice to meet you. Congratulations on all the success you guys are having there. I know that's a lot of hard work. Partnerships, communications, it sounds easy, but a lot of effort goes into that. Yeah. So the community is better for it.
Absolutely.
Rescue Rundown. We tape every Wednesday morning. You can find more of these episodes online at newsok.com, and be sure to visit our friends at the Central Oklahoma Humane Society.